Hey church family, Pastor Gray here. I just wanted to bring you an update on our regathering situation and plan. And as you may know from the emails that we've sent out, we are starting an in-person option for this Sunday, August 9th. There are 3 ways you can join us for a service this weekend. At 9 a.m. we're having an online service on YouTube in the same place where we have been having it for the last few weeks. So you can go to New Valley Downtown YouTube page. That is going to be a live stream service, and there's going to be a service going on at 9 a.m. at the building as well. So if you want to be a part of that live stream service online or in person, you can come to either one of those. We also have a 10:45 service after that so that we can spread out a little bit more. And so that is a change as well. We used to be at 11 o'clock. Now we're at 10:45. And we are going to start at 10:45. And the reason why we compressed that and made it a little shorter was so that there's a greater chance that you might see someone from the different service that you're attending. And so you might be able to wave from the parking lot or stand 6 feet away and say hi or whatever your comfort level is. So we compressed that a little bit. So 9 a.m. online, 9 a.m. in person, and 10:45 in person here as well. I just wanted to spend a minute as well describing a little bit how we made this decision and kind of what are some of the ways that we can engage with this on a personal level. I know that many of you have asked, and so that means that many more of you have wondered what kind of went into this decision, because we have stopped worshiping in person for a while, and then we regathered for a few weeks, and then we stopped again for another 6 or 7 weeks. And so I know it's been a roller coaster. I know that that's not the most pleasant thing to experience, starting and stopping. But every decision that we've made has been out of a desire to care for you and for our neighborhood and for our city. And so it's out of love and not fear that we have made those decisions, though they are very hard decisions to make. And so when we stopped our worship services most recently, it was primarily because of the high numbers of cases and high numbers of hospitalization overwhelm possibility for the state of Arizona. And because we were among, or in some categories, the worst state in those categories, we decided it was time to push pause one more time for in-person gathering. We've been watching those numbers. They have been trending down. They're not gone away completely. They're trending down. And either way, we were always under the state guidelines of 50 persons or less by being spread out into 2 services. So all of that has gone into this decision and much more, many more things. There's information constantly coming at us and data in different places and different opinions and different risk tolerances. And so as you imagine, it's very hard as leadership to make some of these decisions. And so we appreciate your prayers and your care for us as we've tried to navigate these things. But in response to all that, we just want to cover everything, all of this situation, everyone's personal decisions, the church leadership's decisions, everything in grace and care and charity for one another, knowing that we're all in different places. We have sensed, though, that it is time for us to offer this option for us to be in person, which is, of course, as we know, a much more robust experience and a very important thing for us to do. So how is it that we go about making some of these decisions personally for ourselves? There are some of you that are still in such a high-risk category, and you've been quarantining, and you've been having your groceries and food delivered, and you have not been in the outside world, and you've been sticking to your guns because your health care is at stake with this. And so we just want to give you grace and charity and encourage you to come to our online services and to be involved in our Zoom meetings and whatever else we can do. We want to know how we can serve and help you. So please reach out to us, but feel no burden from this that you have to be here this moment if you're in that category. Let me speak to another category. Those of us who maybe are on the fence or we don't really know how to make this decision for ourselves. And I'll bring a little bit of my personal family decision into this as well, because at the beginning, I had a fairly focused, risk-averse attitude about everything that we were doing. I and the other leaders of this church were taking this virus extremely seriously and are still taking it extremely seriously. And so I would do things like when I would be out to record a worship service for our church, for instance, and when I would come back in, I would take a shower every time so that my family wouldn't, before my family touched me or anything like that. And, we avoided restaurants and we avoided being out and we ate at home, everything that most of us are still doing. And yet what I sense in myself, and I'm going to guess that it's in about 95% of you who are watching this, there's a tendency now to engage in a little more risk. A little more risk. Maybe you're not showering every time you come into the house. Maybe you are more comfortable now sitting out on a patio at a restaurant. Maybe you've gone on a trip. We went on a trip to California last week and we were super careful and we did not spend time in places where there was lots of people crowded around or anything like that, but we still went, and it's unavoidable that you would see some people and interact a little bit in those types of places. So the point I'm trying to make is this. Many of us are engaging in some level of risk to be together. Maybe it's just been too long. You need to see your family. You need to see your grandkids. You need to see, your extended family. You need to travel a little bit. And we start to engage a little bit in risk for the sake of things that are worth it. And I just want to challenge us a little bit, gentle challenge to us, covered in charity, to say, if we are engaging in some risk, can we reserve some of that risk for the worship of the Lord and for the gathering with God's people, whether it's in person on a Sunday or maybe at hospitality at somebody's table that you can invite people over to your house and see people and engage a little bit with the body of Christ to grow our spiritual life, because that may be a risk worth taking, right? It is a risk worth taking, in my opinion. As we evaluate it, we went to California last week and we were careful. And we want to come to church this week as a family. We're going to be here and we're going to be careful. And we hope that everyone is. We have guidelines about that. You've been emailed those guidelines. But the point that I'm trying to make is this. Can we reserve some risk for the important act of worship and being together? Because those are important things as well. And they are risks worth taking. And so that will not be everyone's situation, but just a gentle encouragement from your pastor to make some of those decisions yourself and to think through those things. What am I engaging in? And could I reserve some more of that engagement for the worship of the Lord, which is good for my soul and good for the body of Christ to see me? I love you. I hope that you are doing well and surviving, maybe beginning to thrive with some new, different patterns. I don't know. We all need help right now, but I am looking forward to seeing you when I can. And I hope that you have a great week. God bless you.